G'day there, ladies and ledians. I hope, hang on. Just gotta double check that's all good. Hello. We should be live. That's fine. So hopefully we are live. By my calculations, we should be all good. So hello, Neo Wolf. Yeah, I was just kind of like doing some pre-stream stuff. I wasn't actually sure if it was like visible on YouTube, but I'll know that for next time. So there's less preparation. But in any case, g'day there, ladies and ladians. Welcome to another episode of my Dragon Quest IX Let's Play. Last time we made our way up to Xerox in the hopes of finding a golden fig. What was it? Sacred fig of Yggdrasil. There we go. And we did end up finding one by a gargoyle that was protecting Xerox, a place that's pretty much sculpted by hand by a single person, which is pretty interesting, not gonna lie. So, yeah, we're gonna head out and start heading on to new, greener pastures. How is everyone today? I've learnt from last time not to talk too much. I'll talk when I need to, but don't want to talk too much. If I can help it. Oh, you're sick? That's not good. Yeah, I mean, for me it's winter, so I have more of an excuse to be sick. I don't know about you, but I hope you get better soon. Yeah, we are pretty low on resources at the moment. We need to head out. But yeah, I am good to talk. I just don't want to talk too much if I don't need to talk. So, let's go ahead and rest up and then sort out our inventory and start progressing the storyline, eh? We're gonna treat ourselves to a fancy inn. So it's gonna cost a little bit more, but it's not too much. But yeah, I'm doing alright. I had a bit of a rough sleep. Like my neck's a bit sore, I think, from the way I was sleeping, which isn't, you know, the best, but it's not too bad. 15 gold coins, always good. But yeah, last night I did my like Pokemon Pokeball like GM game, so I was talking for a fair bit for that, and then I started a randomizer Soul Link with 2 of the members of the SPC, and so that went on for a bit. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening recently. And then let's see, how's my inventory looking? We should have still a fair amount of healing items. There we go. So we got enough for 1 guaranteed attempt at the next boss battle. But this, let's see, Friday night for Americans, I'm going to be on a podcast with other SPC members, and I think that's going to be live. But it is also going to be on the VOD, so don't worry if you can't make it. I believe, I forget the exact time zone, but it was like 10 PM sometime in USA on Friday night. So it'll be my Saturday like midday, but it'll be your Friday night. So that'll be interesting. So, we need to be careful in what we buy, because grinding for gold isn't going to be too easy. A shield is always good. Hello, Detro. I've seen you around a little bit, but it's the first time I've seen you here. I think there will be a link to the podcast. I hope to have it at least in the SPC Discord server. Otherwise I could probably put out a post that has it. And we'll see how we go. Best vest. We don't really need that. I'm kind of interested in investing into a shield for later. Because I don't think that'll be a bad idea. Like, no matter what, we are going to be using a shield, right? And we have limited ways to gain gold. In terms of weapons, we don't really need to worry about that, because our main weapon that we will be switching to eventually will be the fist. So, I feel like investing into a shield, even though we can't use it at the moment, should be good for later on. Otherwise, we get nothing else here. But maybe we get a different weapon. Mediasaurus, always good to see you. No bad ideas while I'm bragging, please. I don't know what you're doing. At any given moment, I have no idea what you're doing. Yeah, first time here for Dragon Quest. Never was into it much myself, but figured I'd say hi. Well, welcome. Yeah, don't know... Yeah, first time here for Dragon Quest. Yeah, nice. All good. I decided that why not have a let's play, and why not do a live stream? So, alternatively, I could invest in a sword, which gives the gladiator a better chance at defeating the next boss. So, it is kind of either way. I'll let you guys kind of think about it while I maybe progress the main story a little bit. So I believe we got to go here. Ah yes, so what we are doing in this city is we're trying to get a boat. So, let's try and find one. So we should be able to go down to the harbour. This way. At the very least, that show you can always enjoy the chill tunes from the Dragon Quest. Always nice to listen to. Yes, this is obviously the harbour. So yeah, the idea is that we get a boat and we start heading out, you know? So if we can get the boat, it'll be great. Because then we can travel the world, get all the golden figs. So that'll always be nice. So now we're going to go contact the owner of the boat, Marion. And the harbour dude is going to let us in by, you know, saying his name. Heard some before and it's a good vibe. Yeah, it really is. Like, kind of no matter what your mood is, there's probably a good Dragon Quest tune for it. And it's a series that's really been using the same kind of music over and over again, so you know it's good. You know, they wouldn't recycle music if it wasn't bad. Pokemon do that as well, where they recycle a bunch of music. Because it's good. Okay, so basically what is happening in the scene, because I'm kind of speeding things along, is that people are giving Marion like a random gift, right? And asking for favors in return. It's basically extortion. Like, a cheap gift for something valuable kind of thing. Just get something for no strings attached. Hence the title. So, who knows, maybe we can extort this person and get a boat, you know? See? Marion is fine with us taking the boat. Wait a minute. She recognizes that we're different. And suddenly her, like, easygoing attitude has shifted. We are not allowed to take the boat, and she's in a really bad mood. It is very interesting. So, we gotta get down to it. Extortion's legal if you get away with it. Interesting. You know, don't really think of it that way, I guess. Some of the early Pokemon music is just like iconic because of how great it is. Anyway, I'm just going to work for now. That is all good. But yeah, you know, you think about the Pokemon Center music and how it gets reused. It's like, well, you know, obviously. So that's kind of the bad thing about speeding through things. I'm not really paying attention to where I'm supposed to go. It has been a hot minute since I've, you know, played this game. But we look around, we snoop. Try and get some clues figured out. Get some loot. Loot. Hey, that's a nice amount of gold. Oh, strength. That does remind me that we did get an accessory. We got this tattoo. Increases our agility. Huh, that's pretty cool. And this will obviously increase our attack. So, I guess we could choose between increasing our defense or attack at the moment, which isn't too bad. So maybe if we're finding that our defense is good, but our attack is low, we can swap it out. So I think we kind of just leave the building and maybe talk to other people. Oh, Nanny for some advice. Just across from the mansion. Okay, gotcha. Nanny! Hello there, Nanny. Yeah, so a little bit of lore. Marion was sick, but once she felt better, she's been acting differently. And there's also maybe something that the doll maker gave her. So we gotta go find the doll maker. I think that was the idea. I really should have been paying attention to the dialogue. You know what? Nanny, can you repeat that? Feel a bit embarrassed about that, but... Toy maker? Oh, toy maker, not doll maker. Just next door to the church. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Next door to the church. I think it's this one. Doll maker! Randolph? Well, not doll maker, the toy maker. So, this is possibly the only person that will let us get into Marion's room. And so that we can continue discussing, let's say, about the boat. So, what are we thinking? Are we thinking new sword or new shield? New sword for Gladiator to potentially have the highest chance of getting past the next boss. Or if we think we're going to lose against the next boss, which could be possible, it might be best to go for a new shield for other people. I'm leaning towards a shield, but I could be persuaded either way. I'm perfectly Oh, yeah, so we managed to get into Marion's room, but it seems that she's been kidnapped by some ruffians. So we can't exactly resume the conversation here. We need to try and solve this kidnapping. Meanwhile, we are seeing a ghost girl that looks similar to Marion, which is very interesting. So who is this? He looks almost exactly like Marion. Who we got here? Behind every great man is an even greater woman. Sure. In loving memory of a dear mother and a faithful wife. It's me, I'm a ruffian. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. Who we got here? In loving memory of a great man, whose rare business and talent brought fortune to this Bloomingdale. Interesting. So, father and mother, perhaps? Husband and wife? Then who we have here? Ladies and men, reads the inscription on the gravestone. In memory of my one true friend, may you rest in peace. Very curious. It didn't have a name. It didn't really explain much, but all of a sudden we are being talked to by Marion Bloom. Although she's a ghost. So that Marion that we met before was a marionette. Get it? Aha! Aha! So basically, Marion was a pretty lonely child, also kind of sick. So the toy maker made her a kind of lifelike duplicate doll of her, which is kind of creepy if you think about it. But don't worry about that. She got the golden fig, and when you eat the golden fig, your kind of deepest wish or desires become true. And so she wanted a good friend to be able to talk to, so by eating it, Marionette became alive. Which is very interesting. Like, in terms of like what the figures are able to do, we've seen them do a fair amount already. You know? Banned from the joke shop for 3 months. Come on, man, this is Dragon Quest. This is all about the puns. You know, if you're not having a punny time with Dragon Quest, you're not really having a good time at all. Titus laughs. Ah ha ha ha, ah ha ha, ah ha. Fair enough. So, although Marionette became alive, Marion was very close to death anyway. So, in her dying kind of wish, she wanted Marionette to live as Marion and to make friends. You know? Just the idea of making friends, no matter what, as your entire goal. So she's more willing to just give out things for free because that's what she thinks friendship means. You know, it's more of a gift exchange for friendship, you know? Wait till I get to Harvest Moon, you say. Interesting. I wonder how much a punny game that is. Made friends, but they washed away in the rain. Was it like a mud golem man or something? Or I guess like a dirt sculpture? Sand, maybe? Sand could work. So, what we're going to do before we head out is we're going to make sure we have enough healing items no matter what, right? We want to spend some money on healing items before anything. And then, I am kind of leaning towards a shield. Stickman. how does that... I guess, like, if it's actual sticks, it could get washed away by the rain. But that's a very interesting kind of thing you've been trying to make. You just need a golden fig to really help you out, then you have a little Neo Wolf by your side. Okay, so, as per usual, our main ingredients are medicinal herbs and antidotal herbs. It's a very cheap way for effective healing. And of course, we do not need to worry about paralysis. We only need to worry about poison. So we'll see how we go with alchemy this, and we want enough for like 3 full attempts before we spend our money. I am kind of leaning towards a shield. Like, Gladiator is good, but I'm not sure if we can fully beat this next boss with the Gladiator. It's possible that we need to spend some time grinding out. I'm lucky that we made it this far, but there might come a time where we gotta use a different vocation. Gonna make a stick stop motion next time at the ranch. Gonna do some cooking ditcher, that's fine. Dude, it just switches to a different video in my pocket. Scared me. I have no idea what happened with you, Media Source. Is it something on my end? But next time at the ranch. I don't really know what that means. Like, is it... Like, we don't really use range in Australia. Like, maybe occasionally, but... I have some ideas about what it could be, but if you could just explain it, Neo, that would be great. It just switches to a different video. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how that happened. So, I'm gonna prepare for the worst. So, we're going to, probably buy the shield. I'm not telling which boss is next, I'm not gonna tell you. I've already looked it up, so I know what it can do. But you don't need to spoil yourself. No mind. It switched from you to a screaming bald guy. Well, I had you on background play. How the hell did that happen? That's really weird. Alright, so... we have made 11, so we got enough for 2 attempts, which is fine for now. We'll, potentially do 2 attempts and then switch it up. But we'll go to Bloomingdale and definitely buy the shield before we die and lose a bunch of gold. And then we're good to help rescue the marionette from the kidnapping. So even though we can't use the shield now, it will be useful for later on. Excellent. So we should be good to go. We aren't really able to get an armor upgrade. Not that we can really afford it anyway. But that's part of the challenge, and I was thinking of increasing the gold multiplier, but I think in the spirit of the challenge, we do not need to do that. So, let's see how we go, eh? But before I do, I want to showcase this battle. Okay, some slimes, you know, the basic enemy from, like, the first area. They're calling for backup, though. which is a bit concerning. That's what they're only focused on doing. What are they up to? They just keep multiplying. I think my stream had a little bit of an issue there. They've merged into a king slime, which is very interesting. They need 8 slimes to be able to merge into king slime. And so if you're able to keep track of it, well, keep on top of it, you should be able to defeat them before they merge. It is actually a decent boss. Okay, we almost got wiped out by a king slime there. So hopefully we don't do too many of those battles. Let's check out over here. That texture is a bit weird. That's probably an emulation thing rather than an actual game thing, so don't worry about that. Just ignore it. One for platinum more. I think that is pretty useful. Yeah, there it is again. So there's something about that texture. Sam. Okay. Ouch. Caught trap! Good. We gotta be careful about what we battle. I at least want to like progress through the dungeon, unlock the shortcuts before I have to heal up. Maybe I can get a level along the way. It's probably secret treasure. Fair enough. So, now we're going into the bad cave to try and rescue Marionette. So, I forget which way is the main way, so let's just check out this side. I think we need to go this way anyway. Yeah. They got an interesting exit. It's gonna be too much of a cringe moment if I was to read it out loud. But basically these guys are very not intelligent. Oh, enemies right around us. I was not paying attention. That's a lot of enemies. Please. Leave the puppet right where it is. I went to this pizza place one time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't wanna... That would be kinda nasty, wouldn't it? Okay, it would be embarrassing if he lost here. Sebastian Mora. Hello! I don't think I've seen you before. Maybe it looks familiar, the name, but I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome in. We're playing some Dragon Quest. It would be embarrassing if I lost to these guys. But luckily we just, Oh, okay, from June. Gotcha. Yeah, it does ring a bell. I just wasn't paying full attention to your name. So yeah, it would be embarrassing to lose to these guys. But luckily we did spend a lot of, like, money before we got here. The King Slime really, wore me out, I think. Okay, we managed to flee. So, for the sake of time, I'm going to use one of my healing items. And then, let's see how we go from there. But yeah, welcome Sebastian. I hope you're enjoying yourself. So, yeah, this was going to be like the meetup spot. But the thieves have lost track of the marionette, I think. Can I please get you to move? Fine. Two of them, huh? Alright, 1 damage. We can handle that. Easy. Alright, not too bad. Very nice. You know, we're getting some gold, we're getting some experience. It's always nice to have. So, yeah, we go through the cave, get some shortcuts going. Then we go back, heal up, and then we hopefully go up along the way. And then we go to battle the next boss. Which, if I'm being honest, this boss could be kind of nasty. It's one of those bosses that's that has an emphasis on status elements. So it is possible that we get stuck. Just trying to remember the exact thing. I think they put down a vine, maybe? Where was it? Please come in and seat yourself. Okay, so I had to talk to the sign before I could sit in the chair, wait for the kidnappers to show up. So they think I'm here to pay the ransom. So they're going to, I think, toss down the vine for me, so that I can go to a better spot. No, not a vine, they put down a ladder. So yeah, they think I'm here to pay, so they put up a ladder to come meet me, and then they kind of forget about it, and so I'm able to go through the cave. So they're trying to uphold their end of the bargain by proving that marionette is still all G. But it seems like she is trying to escape. I don't blame her, you know. But yeah, because of that, he forgot to put the ladder away. So we're able to explore. Isn't that nice of them? So here's a little hideout. We can open the shortcut here. That'll make it a little bit easier to get to. We're gonna take the pot and smash it. A thunderball. Yeah, not too bad. Smash this pot, which is probably a chamber pot, if I'm being honest. Even cough. That's actually kind of useful, I think. More loot. Who would have thought that the people that kidnap would have a bunch of loot, you know? Isn't that nice of them? What do you have to say? There's a deadly monster down in the depths of this place. Mm-hmm. Of course there is. So, we're gonna go through the cave and rescue Marionette. What we got here? Hephaestus Flame. I think that's used for some very powerful crafting. So the idea of this stream is that we'll go through this bad cave and hopefully take on the boss. Yeah, we have 3 attempts as a gladiator before we need to switch vocation. At that point, either we win or we lose, that'll probably be in the stream. If we do lose, next stream we'll probably be doing some grinding. So that'll be fun. But, you know, it'll give me the chance to talk to you guys a bit more. Last week we were talking about, like, some JRPGs, like Persona and Final Fantasy. Is there anything you guys would like to talk about? I do have some topics in mind. So, it's up to me or it's up to you? Alright, we'll get all the loot, then we'll focus on leveling up. We'll leave, come back, and then battle the boss. Media Source, you're playing Persona soon. Very nice. Damn. Critical hit spell. Not too bad though. Yeah, I was kind of thinking like, you know, because I haven't really done like Persona, right? If I were to get it, say on my computer, and I were to stream it, would that be something that people would be interested in? Or not really? Like, ideally, I want to play some of the games I love. And I guess some of the games I've used to play before. I prefer Playground. Fair enough. Do loop the loop. Alley-oop. Yeah, so I could potentially play Persona. That's a lot of gold. Should always play the games you like. Yeah, there are definitely a few Pokemon games and non-Pokemon games I'd like to have on the channel. But maybe in the future, you know. Tell me when, I'm guessing you say when you start. If you do, maybe we can do a tandem run. Is that like a Soul Link, or is that... Okay, this is a very rare enemy, but it gives too much experience for what our challenge run is. If we were not doing this challenge run, this would be a great enemy to battle. The metal versions of slimes have a lot of experience, but they're easy to run away, so they're hard to kill, but if you can kill them, they're very valuable. Unfortunately for this run, it's going to be too much experience for us, because we do have a level cap. And since we are like one person, we are going to get all the experience, and it's probably going to be too much, so we can't exactly do that. Attacker. But one interesting note, right? In this area are these mechs, and if you see these mechs, it usually means that there's a metal medley around it, because they are hunters. You wouldn't have killed it. It is possible to kill it, you know. Sure, it takes a few hits, and there's a good chance that your attack does nothing, but there's always a critical hit chance which will bypass the defense. So there's a chance I could have killed it. Another one! It's just taunting me. Kind of. We just play at the same time and see what we do different. I'm gonna be doing a lot of things different, I think, because I haven't played it before. That's a lot of enemies we gotta run. Oh man, this is gonna be annoying, because if we die here, we got a lot of gold from looting the area. But we can't exactly heal up in time, because they're all going to attack before us. So our only chance is to try and flee again. Which we do manage to succeed. I'm fine with using one of these healing items, if it means that we get to keep the rest of our money. But yeah, since I would be a newbie to the Persona game, I would basically be doing a lot of things differently to you, I think. Okay, this should be a bit more manageable. Get rid of the healer first, you know? Might need to heal up next turn. But yeah, it's definitely possible I could have killed it. You know? Alright. Yeah, I feel like we get through here. I don't mind using a bit of healing items if it means I get to keep my gold for later. Because losing about half my gold is a lot worse than spending, like, you know, 20 gold for new items. I'm just interested to see what personas you end up with. Yeah, knowing me, I'd probably go with, like, something that looks kind of awful, and then going along with it. Like, there's definitely gonna be, like, the meta ways and stuff. I think with Persona, it's kind of like each of them has like their own like monster, right? But you can like fuse and you can fuse them, you can sort them out, right? Alright, 4 more skill points, which is always nice. We don't have enough for that, which is fine. We can just kind of save up our points. Alright. So, based off the map, I think the end is just around the corner. So, we have leveled up. Do we have another Evacubell? I remember buying a few. There we go. Very useful. Except my angel baddies. We can just zoom. But yeah, like if I was to play Persona, I'd probably pick something random, akin to like a Ledian, for example, and just go along with it no matter what. And just kind of go along with it, really. Like, even if it's not a good option, I'll be like, you know what? You're coming with me. So, unfortunately, there is no bank, so I don't know what we spend our gold on, really. Let's go for a shopping spree, shall we? But, yeah, how's everyone doing the stream? So, we could get the sword, have a high chance of, you know, defeating the next boss. It doesn't sound too bad. What else can we really go for? Is there anything here that would help future vocations? That's the main thing. We already got the shield. We don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Wait, do we need that? No. How much defense have we got? We got more than 31 at the moment. Definitely can't wear that anyway. Yeah, a lot of it is like specific vocations. Do these poison needles work like an older Dragon Quest? I think so. You're talking about fell off with a single stab if correctly aimed. I feel like you need a lot of deftness, which is like luck in this game. And I'm not even sure if it works on bosses. It is an interesting idea, but we can't even equip it at the moment, so... You know. Damn, Falcon Knife Earring. I mean, there's some cool weapons here, that's for sure, but... Given what we're aiming for, we can't exactly use them. So let's check out the shoe shop before deciding to maybe pick up the sword. Because it would be good to spend some money before we kind of lose it. Although the thing is, we kind of want... Hey, that's pretty good for when we go Priest. Although I'm not expecting to win with Priest, so... or Mage. Like, those are the two vocations that is like, I'm never going to be able to win the game with. We can't wear that. That could be good. Because ideally we have evasion, right? We don't go for defense. We can't even equip any of these anyway. You know what, we'll pick up the Kung Fu shoes for later. And then I think we get the sword. And then we'll just go back, buy a bunch of healing items, and then we should be good to give it a few attempts. We'll see how we go with that, you know? So this will give us our best chance to beat the next boss. It's a bit hard to say words of X sometimes, you know? We go back to Stormway, get some more healing items for later, because we're going to assume that we're going to lose 2 to 3 times. Prepare for the worst, but expect the best. It is a bit slow at the moment, but, you know, we'll get there. It'll be a boss battle soon. Just get a bunch of these. Give me all your herbs. Don't ask why. Just give me. I'm gonna bankrupt the entire herb industry at this point. You know what? Let's just get as many as we can and not have to worry about it later. Unfortunately, there isn't a good way to speed this up. If we get, say, 100, oh. The highest is 69. Very interesting. Alright, I guess we're getting 69. I guess we have a limit in our bag as well, so it's probably like 100. So I think there is like a limit to how much we can have. Yeah, that might be it. Alright, good to know. I didn't actually know there was a limit to the items. But it's good to have. We have 32, which means that we can get 68. Never mind, we must have one elsewhere. Okay. Now we get to do a bunch of alchemy, which will take a bit, but we won't need to worry about it later on. And this way, we also don't need to worry about our gold, as we have made some wise financial investment into the herb market. Which is always nice. Items. So this will take a bit. No, I didn't mean to do that. We can make a maximum of 9 at a time, which if they do make a remake for this, I would like that to be changed. So I understand if you're kind of chilling out in the chat. So, how about I raise one of my topics? Here we go. Anime hot take. Are you guys ready? I got a hot take about anime. I definitely think it'll start some debates. So, we'll see how we go. So, my anime hot take is that... Oh, she got any Herba Mystica? I'm sick of these Scarlet Violet rays. I don't think that's in the game. Alright, anime hot take. Dragon Ball GT is better than Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I'm not seeing any complaints, so maybe it's not a hot take. We got time. And there we go, how dare you. Yep, here we go. Look, I'm not saying Dragon Ball Z is bad. I'm just saying GT is better than Z. And I'm not talking about like the Dragon Ball manga, because obviously GT is not in that. I'm talking about bar for bar for the anime versions. So that includes all the filler content. So I'm comparing the entirety of Dragon Ball Z with all the filler to Dragon Ball GT as a series. Not Dragon Ball Z Kai, just Dragon Ball Z. Now you can say like, you know, GT is like non-canon or whatever, but you're having a heart attack. Fair enough. You can say that, you know, GT is like non-canon, it shouldn't be considered or whatever, but if I'm in the kind of camp that I'm saying like GT is better, saying like it's filler so it doesn't count isn't really an argument for me, you know? Well, you know, Miniasaurus? There's a reason dinosaurs went extinct a long time ago, I think. I'm just saying. DBZ was made first, so it was good before GT. Well, obviously, like, because GT wasn't around, like, because it came after Dragon Ball Z, so obviously it was better before GT was. If Dragon Ball Z was like made after GT for some reason, that would be a different story, but I guess I should explain why I think GT is better. So I'm a real sucker for world building, and I did not particularly like the world building of Dragon Ball Z. You know, it's always like expanding, like, oh, there's a god or a planet or, you know, someone that we forgot to mention. There's, you know, a hyperbolic time chamber that we didn't bring up until now. You know, things like that. We're just going to randomly expand on what the Dragon Balls can do and change how they work constantly. You know, so there's a lot of, like, part of it is Akira Toriyama, right? He's a bit forgetful sometimes. Forgets what he has established. And sometimes it's also like changing things on the fly, week to week. So I do understand that. But it felt to me that Dragon Ball GT was overall more cohesive. And in terms of villains, I think Baby is like one of the best villains. Probably better than... Frieza's good. I'm not gonna lie, Frieza is good. Vegeta is also pretty good for the Saiyan Saga. But Cell? I don't know, man. Are we really gonna say that Cell was like the best? You know? Granted, Super 17, not that good. It should have been fleshed out a bit more. It was very confusing about what hell was in GT. So that was definitely confusing. But the Shadow Dragons, that was definitely good. Like, consequences for using Dragon Balls was so good. So, we now have a bunch of special antidote. I'm guessing you're saying Kid Buu? Yeah, Kid Buu is a pretty good one. Like, Majin Buu, I think, while not the greatest personality-wise, I think is still pretty effective. I like him. And you know, Cell has his moments, but the entire Cell and Android saga was like, you know, people purposefully, like, letting the villains win. You know? There's like so many fumbles throughout that entire saga. You know? Nah, Boo was. He killed everyone, then ran the fade in the afterlife. He was him. Yeah, exactly. Like, Boo was pretty good. Not gonna lie. I just think that Baby was a very intelligent villain. And he's pretty much responsible for the entirety of Dragon Ball GT, besides like the actual use of the Black Star Dragon Balls. Like everything related to Mew and like Dr. Mayu rather, and you know Super 17, and then by extension that leads into the Shadow Dragon saga. You know, that was all because of Baby. So I think, and Baby himself also was a pretty interesting villain, wanting revenge for the Tuffles against the Saiyans. So, like, you know, Cell has his moments, right? But I think Baby is overall better. You know, and if you're gonna do a villain all about absorbing, you know, you got Cell, you got Boo, and you got Baby. I think Boo and Baby are better than Cell in that regard. But, you know, like, Dragon Ball Z has a bunch of filler, and even in the canon stuff, there's a lot of, like, mixed things. Like, there's definitely things that are forgotten or, barely expanded upon. But yeah, like, as I was saying, like, in the Android saga, right? They go, oh, we know about androids in the future, so why don't we go get rid of them now, or use the Dragon Balls to locate them? And everyone's like, nah, that would be a dick move, you know, like, we can't really do that, that wouldn't be fair, we gotta beat them up in battle. Okay. And then, you know, we got the whole Vegeta giving off, Android 18 to Cell. Krillin didn't explode Android 18. You know, like, and then, Goku gives Cell a Senzu Bean, Gohan messes around a bit. I think the only person that didn't really play around was Piccolo. You know, so, you know, props to Piccolo, but everyone else really brought the saga down for me. Anyway, so that was my hot take. Gram for gram, GT is just better than Z. Z is still good, I just like GT more. Alright, so we are about to battle a boss. We're not battling Marionette, so don't worry about that. Yeah, so Marionette is all about the friends, so she thinks that the kidnappers are friends. So real Stockholm Syndrome, I guess. Also, arachnophobia warning. As we are going to battle the Tyrantula. I've already looked up its stats beforehand, so you don't need to worry about that, Neo. Well, Vegeta would though. Yeah, I get that it's like the same pride to, you know, battle someone at their strongest, but you gotta admit that when you got someone coming from the future saying, hey, we gotta not let this happen, and then you let it happen, it's like, like, poor Trunks, really. Like, he risked his entire life to go back in time, right? And then there's a bunch of knucklehead Saiyans that don't want to listen to anything. So, this boss can be very annoying with some attacks that, like, bind us. It can attack twice sometimes. So, let's see how we go. Yeah. So, that attack essentially causes us to skip a turn. So, every time it does that, we can't do anything. We can't heal, we can't attack, we can't defend. So, hopefully it doesn't do that too often. Or, you know, you can do it all the time. That's fine. Okay, not doing too bad. Luckily, we are pretty resilient, so we should be able to take a fair amount of attacks before we need to heal up, which is always nice. Nice evasion, always appreciated. I think we're doing alright. We don't need to heal up just yet. If he attacks 4 times in a row, over 2 turns, that's about 40 damage, maybe 50 damage. So we can do one more turn of attacking before we need to worry about healing up. Oh, that was nasty. I doubt he does that twice in a row, but it's probably a good time to heal up. Especially as we can never guarantee. Please, we need to be able to heal. Okay, we are cutting it very close there. We do need to worry about the web, so I guess that is something that we gotta consider. So maybe we'll just heal up next turn. But I think we're doing okay. Okay, not too bad. We have 8 total healing items, and we've used up 2. This might go a bit better than expected. Hey, that's crit! You know, we're doing good. If we can get a good coup de grace, that would be great. Just for safety, we will heal up. This web is very annoying. Okay. Yeah, so it always wants us to have Eerie Light. So that the Venom Missile does more damage. And so that is a turn every now and then, which, you know, we get a grace period for, which is nice. I think we're doing relatively okay. Tarantula is enraged. That is fine. We're the only one here. I'm going to save one Claptrap for if we get a coup de grace, or if we need a last hurrah moment, you know? The web is kind of nasty. But we're doing okay, I think. One more Claptrap, and then we go to basic attacks for a bit. if we can attack, that is. Technically, if Tyrantula keeps using that web to stun us, we could possibly never win this battle. So, hopefully it doesn't do it too often. I think we're doing okay. Next time I'm going to definitely focus on healing, because with the web, that could be nasty. Please dodge. Please, not like this. Okay, nice dodge. Remember, we got like a... I think like a 3.5% chance? Or, no, I think it was like 1.5% chance to dodge. So we're actually doing relatively good. Being able to dodge twice in a battle. Wish we could dodge that one though. But I think we're doing okay. Relatively speaking. Alright, let's do it. Oh, we are... Why have I got a random medicinal herb in here? That's a bit annoying. Well, hopefully it doesn't come down to that. Wicked web. Stop covering me in sticky substances. I do not appreciate it. That was a good heal. Hey, we dodge it! We dodge it, yay! Do a little bit more, then maybe we go for a last hurrah claptrap. We must be getting pretty close. Let's go for it. Whenever we can. That's whatever. Come on! We must be close. Whoa, buy me dinner first. Yeah, exactly. We'll try and focus on healing. Because you never know when you're gonna get stun locked. We did some good damage though, so we must be close. Alright, I accidentally put in a random medicinal herb in our bag, so we can't really heal up. We kind of just need to go for it at this point. Oh my god. Okay, we dodge. We did it! That could have easily taken us... Sorry. That could have easily taken us, like, many vocations to battle. Given the way that it, like, kind of stun locks you. So, I'm glad that we were able to do it on our first try, even though we had a random medicinal herb in our pocket. Okay, we've increased the level 21. Very nice. So, we could get double edge slashed, which is, I think, like a recoil move, which is probably something we do not want to go for. Okay, that wasn't too bad, it was just more annoying. But we've dealt with the Tyrantula. So I think in the scene, he might have tried to check her pulse and kind of declared her dead, and then she's kind of revived out of nowhere because, well, she's a doll. So they're running off scared, probably never to kidnap her again. But they're saying that she is a monster, so now she's kind of reflecting upon her lifestyle choices. They only like me for the things I give them. Yeah. It doesn't make you true friends, it makes you a monster. However, you are still a friend to Marion. We can't play anymore. We can't play ever again. It's not because she doesn't like you. It's a very touching scene, this moment. Probably like one of the better parts of the game is this entire segment. You know, don't worry about Marion's dying wish, just live your life, you know? Don't focus on having friends, just be true to yourself. I think that's a very important lesson that we could all take. So, Marionette is going to go back to being a doll, but she's just going to resolve some things in the town before that. BRB, gotta drive home, big guy. That's fair enough. I mean, we did this relatively quick, so I'll probably still be around for about half an hour. We have Evacuate, which makes it easy to get out of here. So yeah, oh yeah, let me update the numbers, shall I? So we have defeated 8 bosses, and our level cap has now increased. Where's the number? There it is. To 22. Which means we're doing pretty good. If we can keep the gladiator around for a long time, that means that future vocations will be extra strong. So yeah, due to the nature of the fig, we need to get it back, and so that's going to get Marionette back to a doll. It is unfortunate, but mortals were never supposed to have these fruit. But I think we did pretty good in that boss battle. I was entirely open to the idea of losing. It definitely was a possibility. Also, Dragon Quest Edition, we're gonna jump down the well. What we got around here? Can we open? No, we cannot open. Actually, I have an idea. What we can do is we should be able to hand in some mini medals. Maybe get some rewards here and there. Also, actually, instead of just walking over there, we're just going to warp. Because I believe there was some chest here that we needed the thief key for. Let's check it out. An agility ring. Not too bad. So yeah, let's hand in the mini medals to get, I think, the bandana. Which I think is a pretty good bandana, by the way. Oh yeah, so I was looking at my like just YouTube analytics just for the sake of it, right? And I found some interesting statistics. First of all, I have 0% of viewers that are under 18. Literally no kids have been watching my channel at all. Which is very interesting. I know I'm making my content like not appeal to kids because I don't really want to worry about that, but I didn't think that there was no kids whatsoever. I guess we didn't get enough for next level. But yeah, I've got like 0% of people under, well, 17 or under. Which is very interesting. Also, because of the auto dub feature, the majority of my viewers are from South Korea. Which is also unexpected. Perhaps the Aussie language translates well into South Korea. Or maybe like they just really love the idea of an Aussie. Who knows really? It's hard to tell. But that's the majority of where my viewers are. Obviously it's not from like the majority of where my subscribers are. But it's kind of interesting, you know? So I believe we go check out here. But yeah, I didn't think a lot of my viewers, even though a view doesn't mean much, it's just like a little click on a video, but it doesn't matter how much they really watch, you know. I didn't think it would be from South Korea of all places. Yeah, so Marion and Marionette are no more. People will have to rely on not having freebies handed out to them. That being said, we get a freebie handed out to us with a boat. So, we have gotten ourselves a boat. Let's sort out our inventory before we head out. Special antidote. But I think we're doing pretty good, like, all things considered. I didn't expect to battle that previous boss, and beat it. And so the fact that we got past that one and this one, you know, it was pretty good. It does make me wonder how far we can go with the Gladiator. But hey, the longer we can go, the more points we get for future. Alright, so we have gotten ourselves a boat. Now we get to sail around the world. There are a few options we can go to, but I think I know where my next stop is going to be. But yeah, this entire section of the gameplay that we've just done is probably like part of the best of this game, like in terms of difficulty, story, you know, this entire area is one of the better parts of the game. I mean, the rest of the game is obviously still good, but this was one of the highlights, I guess. So, what do we feel about Marion and or Marionette? Are they best girl or are they not really? There's a lot of best girls in this game. So how are we kind of feeling about Marion and Marionette? Love them, hate them? So, there is a lot to explore, and as you can see on the map, I believe those places are the Zoom locations. No, they're kind of like the dungeons. Yeah. So, in terms of where we are going, I think the next logical place is north. Now we could do some exploration. I don't know. Fine, we'll do some. When do we get here? New enemies, that's for sure. Is he dead? Yeah. The grottos. Yeah, so I kind of explained that last week. We will not be worried about them. Maybe if we complete the game, we can change up the rules of the challenge run and see how far we can get just solo across all vacations. But at least for now, we don't need to worry about it. Right. Anything else in this lighthouse? Yes. So, I think we won't worry too much about the exploration. We'll just kind of head out to the next location. We will check on the beach here in case there's anything of note. There is not. Alright, we're heading out. We don't need to worry about this continent to the right because we kind of just dealt with that. We've also dealt with the stuff over here because that was where the poor Flafan was. So we're heading this way. Now this is also the only time in the game where you can have random encounters that you can't see on the map. So let's see how we go. Pretty strong. Obviously, there are safe waters and there are unsafe waters to kind of prevent you from going certain locations. Magic beast horn, always nice. So, we are heading to Gleba. I should have landed on the other side of the island. You know what? It was a tactical decision. I wanted to check out this area anyway. What we got? Nothing really? Fair enough. Oh, sparklies. Bell cap. Kinda useless. But we take it. Alright, we'll be heading to Gleba and then I think we're kind of ending the session there, really. I guess we can check out the desert. US, India... Oh, hello. Yeah, there must have been something wrong with the chat, because I just got all your messages in one go. So, I don't know what was up with that. US, India, United Kingdom, Philippines, in that order. Okay. Did you just buy shit? No, we got it gifted. Chat break? Yeah, probably. Don't worry, I'm still here. Hopefully the stream was all good. I just don't know why chat was a bit weird with it. Are you able to hear me and are you able to type? It's okay now. Yeah, so I have no idea what that was. Again, I'm new to streaming, but even if I was pretty experienced, there's a good chance that it would be like a random thing anyway. Also, here's a little pro tip. The gold golems in this area are possibly the best place to grind for gold. And so a good rule of thumb for this area is that if your team of 4 can't defeat a gold golem on average of once per turn, then you are kind of underleveled. It's good enough. I am back. That's good. So if there's 2 gold golems, if you can't defeat 2 gold golems in 2 turns, you're probably underleveled for the area. They're also like very good for actually giving you gold. So like even late game, because like I can actually show you. Yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of achievements here. Oh, maybe not. If we go to slime, you can see how much experience and gold it gives you, right? So gram for gram, the gold golem gives pretty much the most amount of gold that you need for a lot of things until like kind of late game. So we can battle one and show you. It shouldn't be too impossible to battle. If we can find one. They spawn in this area, so yeah, man. You are not a gold golem. There you are. Gimme. Please one. Okay. We'll destroy the poor hammer first. And then deal the gold golem. Now, we are getting 4 times the amount. So we will get a lot of gold by battling this guy. Okay, that was with tension. Great. They are pretty tough. But if you can defeat on average once per turn with a full team, without really using too much magic, I think it's a pretty good showcase of your strength. These guys definitely are tough though. Come to think of it, this entire section could be scaled around the same. So it could be, while higher than us, it could effectively be the same level. So maybe the order of the bosses doesn't matter too much. But I'm still going to do this one first anyway. So we get a fair amount of experience, right? And then we get 2,692 gold coins, which is a lot. So, really, that's what we get. We get another achievement. So, if we go to view by family, elemental? No. Material. You can see that the gold is 505. So, if you are playing this game, I recommend running as gold golems because they give you a lot of gold for the majority of the playthrough. Like, even like 10 levels down the line, grinding up against gold golems is the best way to make some money. So keep that in mind. Alright, we'll explore that little patch of dirt over on the left, and then we'll kind of call it there. That's a lot of enemies. Okay, luckily they are weak. Speaking of magic, I might do some deck building videos. Interesting. I'd be down for like a commander battle or something, sometime in tabletop. There's a lot of like random events we gotta try and sort out in the SPC, but I hate these guys. Luckily, good. But yeah, there's a lot of like little things I gotta organize within the SPC. I plan to do tabletop no, not tabletop Pokemon Master Trainer, the official kind of board game from Tabletop Simulator. That could be fun. There's Pokemon themed Jeopardy that I've threw out before as well. Media Stores, I think you are planning like a movie night. You know, there's a lot of things really, and at some point in the future I'd like to do a one-shot of Pokeball, but you know, we'll get there. So, welcome to Gleba. In fact, you would have known about Gleba before because we have... Where is it? A Gleban Guinea. So, this currency, which we can sell, is originated from Gleba. So, if you were paying enough attention, you would be able to tell that there was a place called Gleba. But it's a nice little world building, you know. We are waiting for a special guest. Really? You got someone in mind for the SPC? Maybe. Interesting. So, yeah, we are in Gleba. We will be dealing with the events in this area next week. So, we're not able to zoom in. Dang it. Might be, okay, gotcha. Fair enough then. But in any case, that is going to be it for today's live stream. I hope you all enjoyed it. We defeated a boss pretty easily. If I'm not gonna lie, I thought it would take more attempts. But next week we figure out what's going on in Gleba. And yeah, so Friday night for USA or Saturday day for Aussies. I'm going to be on a podcast where I'm going to have an interview for about an hour. Which should be pretty fun. I'm one sub away from 69. Yes, I have noticed that. It's a interesting statistic, isn't it? But in any case, I would like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Around the same time as well. So, now I just gotta try and figure out how to end the stream again.